What's going on, sports fans? It's your boy Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. I first want to shout out each and every one of you guys for watching. Just thank you guys. We've really been getting a lot of feedback and a lot of views and everything, so we really do appreciate it. But I am, of course, joined by the incomparable Elaine Bennis. Rosine, the front row.
Stop calling me that.
Oh, you're my Elaine. We're moving forward.
I'm not Elaine. Don't say that.
We're
Stop
moving
calling
forward.
me that.
Listen.
Can we be like Joni and Chachi or something or somebody else? Because I am not Elaine.
Look, listen. I'll say this for Elaine and Jerry, what she meant for him. She was his person, his female person, and I think that of you, so that's why I feel that way. And we just joke all day, so it's.
I actually, in a very non-romantic way, I think of us more as the Costanzas.
Fred and Estelle. Okay, I can deal with that too. But if you hear the laughter, we actually have another guest host today. We have Mr. Gabe. Gabe is back in the building. Gabe was here prior to the Super Bowl, and he has a story from the Super Bowl game that I have to let him tell because we had some racial undertones the last time he was here, and that happened to him again. So I don't know if Roa knows this yet, so I'm excited for her to hear the story too.
This is going to be fun. Gabe, thank you again for joining us again. We love having you here, and so we jump at the opportunity for you to come on whenever you can. So thank you.
No, thank you guys very much for having me. So the unfortunate incident following the last time where I got the kid in the Super Bowl commercial wrong. During the Super Bowl, I was at my brother's house watching the game, and when the Eagles scored to tie the game, they went to that shot of Bradley Cooper in the owner's booth. And I saw a guy behind him. Now, in my defense, it was a wide shot, and you could really only see the eyes and the glasses. And I'm like, oh, Tyler Perry's there. And both my brother and my sister-in-law look at me, and I'm like, oh, boy. Exactly the same look the two of you gave me when I made that mistake last time. And like 90 seconds later, my brother's like, that's Questlove, Gabe.
Gabe, again, we don't all look alike. We don't all look alike, Gabe. But that's too funny. Literally, that's just...
Did you finish your racial sensitivity training, Gabe?
I should be in a group, or there's definitely this needs to be addressed. Absolutely.
Speaking of Seinfeld, Kramer has a support group for white males. Say racially insensitive things.
That escalated really quickly.
Oh my God!
I love you.
Questlove,
yeah. Yeah. That's.
The only other person I get mistaken for is Fran Drescher. So
that at least is like on mark. That's on message. That's anyway. But let's go ahead and start up. We got to talk about some NBA to start today. Some things came out after the All-Star weekend. Gabe wasn't here for our stuff about the All-Star weekend, but Anthony Edwards is taking on load management. And I want to know what you guys think about it. Go ahead, George, play that clip.
I'm going to edit this. Give me a second.
Oh, all right. Hold on.
Whenever you say load management, I get such shitty thoughts in my head.
Yeah,
it's part of my charm.
If there's anything I could change about the league to make it better, probably just all the guys sitting resting. That's the only thing I probably don't like. Just play, man. If you 80%, you got to play. I don't like all the sitting, missing games and stuff. Like these people might have enough money to come to one game. You know what I'm saying? And that might be the game they come to, and then you sitting out. You know what I'm saying? So I take pride in trying to play every game because I don't know. It might be one fan that has never seen me play, and I'm trying to play. So that's the only thing I don't like. Guys just sitting out. If there's anything,
I'll say this. I'll start by saying this. When my brother played in the league, and then I can't remember really when this started to shift. You know what? No, it started to shift with Greg Popovich. Because Pop used to sit Tim Duncan, sit Tony Parker, sit Manu. That's who started the whole load management phase. But for many years, playing 82 games was a badge of honor in the NBA because it was hard to do. Like it's hard to suit up every night, and you got back-to-backs and 3 games in 4 nights and all that good stuff. And so Now with all these players, playing 60 games, 50 games, the NBA talking about 82 games is too many. I love a young player saying this that's still trying to get on. This was his first All-Star game, still an up-and-coming star. He definitely he got another fan in me just by saying what he said. What do you think, Gabe?
Absolutely, same here. I mean, I love, he spoke his mind. He was respectful about it. But the part I took away from that, what I really loved is he's like, look, what about a family that can only go to one game a year?
Yes.
That's it.
And you get there and your favorite player's not playing.
100%.
Not a lot of people can afford or have the time to go to 41 home games. I was really impressed. I wasn't really a fan of his before that. I'm a fan of his now.
Yeah. What do you think, bro?
It's funny because Gabe texted me and said, "Did you see what Anthony Edwards said?" I agree 100%. And I'm like, you think he's the top player in the league too? Because he also said that in the interview. He's like, no, I don't think he's top 10. But did you see what he said about load management?
I don't think he's top 10. No, not at all.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I love him for saying it because forget 41 home games. The way ticket pricing is with parking, with with
just everything,
with everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take your kids to anything for less than 200. Like just taking my son to a UNLV home game, just basic seats, basic everything, over $300. So I love that he said that because it's so meaningful. People don't understand the reach of sports, and they don't understand how it's maybe the one thread that connects a family. It's how I bonded with my uncles and my dad.
Yeah.
It was, and so the fact that he recognizes that is so, I mean, as a mother, it means a lot, but as a sports fan, it means even more, and I love it. And it's also another wrinkle in the GOAT conversation because when we're talking about apples to apples, right? And I put up a poll on my Instagram, and I asked, "What's the real GOAT debate? Is it Jordan, Kareem, Jordan and Kobe, or Jordan and LeBron?" Both of you had different answers. Gabe said Jordan and LeBron, and you said Jordan and Kareem.
I did.
And
I just did it just to troll
You
and
did
see.
it just to do
I just
it?
did it to troll and see where Kareem fell in the line. I was like, how many people said this? 6%. I was like, okay, well, fair enough.
See, one of the things that keeps me, as much as I do not like MJ, is the amount of games that he played.
I think it was 9 of his years was 82 games.
And the conditions that he's played against the players that he played in the basketball of that era.
Yeah.
Kareem too, Kobe too. So that
Kobe once hit free throws on a blown Achilles. So yes, 1,000%.
he sank 60 points that night with that blown Achilles, actually.
Yeah.
So for me, I agree I agree with Anthony Edwards 100%. And to me, it does separate the boys from the men. If you're constantly just, I need to sit. And we're not talking about work ethic. And those two things can be, they can kind of mesh together. They can, I don't know, they can. But the way that I look at it is if you're here to do a job, you are getting paid to do a job. I've never had the luxury of telling anybody that I've ever worked for, I need to sit this one out. I need some load management.
I need some me time. I'll ask you this. So a friend of mine, we're actually talking about this very topic a few weeks ago. Would you be okay if players did not ever miss road games? Because that's where a lot of the load management happens. And we actually talked about it in terms of possibly, maybe I can, like, if it's a divisional opponent, I don't necessarily have to not miss that one. But if it's like, like for instance, Kevin Durant playing, when he was in Brooklyn playing the Lakers or something like that, sitting out that game in LA, that's the only time that those fans would even have the chance of seeing him unless he gets traded. But you know what I mean? Like where it's there's only so many opportunities for fans to even see you. So if they only have one shot at you, you have to play those games.
I see what you're saying. That's a really interesting way to look at it. I see it as, look, especially if a player's over 30 on the second night of a back-to-back, okay, I get that because there's pretty clear data that player is significantly more likely to get hurt on the second night of a back-to-back. I get that. It's the the guys who play 50 games, like as Rose said, that's showing up to your job 58% of the time.
Yeah,
you don't get to keep a lot of jobs. That's interesting to your point. if the NBA would put in a rule and saying, okay, if you're playing 3 games in the city that year, you can miss 1.
Yeah.
But you can't miss your only. That would be a really interesting way to look at it.
Just, I mean, and kind of tracking it that way, because at least at that point, like I said, Eastern and Western Conference teams, both the owners know, like, okay, well, we've got the Grizzlies coming into town. This is our only chance to have Ja. That's a big night in terms of tickets. To then cut that out of your revenue stream. I mean, what do you think, Ro?
I'm a purist. I think it takes away from the tradition of being able to tell stories to your kids that you saw Patrick Ewing play against X, Y, and Z.
Whomever, yeah.
Right? Listen, I think injury aside, I think if you're injured and you can't take that chance of aggravating it and making it worse. But no, I think it's bullshit. I think that you should play. What Gabe said in terms of, all right, if you know that you're going to play this team in this city 3 times during the year, or however many times, maybe you have an option of 1. But I think it's bullshit. I think this is the pussifying of sports, and that this contributes to it, because I want to be able to tell my son that I watched 2 iconic players play each other. And you know what? To me, we cannot in the future have debates about who is the best point guard, who is the best big man, who is the best defender.
How many times they actually play each other?
Because how many times did they play each other? Because that's the data I need.
That's actually a very good way to look at it. That's actually a very like, I mean, how can we say Chris Paul is better than Russell Westbrook if they never actually play each other? Like, if they always, every time there's a matchup,
how are you supposed to like really, I mean, intelligently have that debate when you don't have the analytics to quantify it?
That's fair. That's fair. Well, all right, let's go ahead and move on. The second half of the NBA season begins tonight. We've got 4 marquee matchups. I want to go through each of them quickly. Up first, the Nuggets and the Cavs. The Nuggets, I believe they're still number 1 in the conference. If they're not number 1, I know they're top 3 for sure. And the Cavs, listen, the Cavs, they can give anybody a fight on any given night, with how they've been playing. So I'll start with you, Ro. What do you think of this matchup tonight?
I'm so focused on Anthony Wiggins actually being out for the Golden State game.
Yeah.
That I'm hoping that the Lakers actually have a chance at it tonight.
That's on our list.
I know, but that's like that's the one I was hoping you would talk about first, because I can't.
I went down the line. We got Nuggets, Cavs, we got Grizzlies, Sixers.
Because it's just because I just heard Anthony Wiggins is out. That's why I was thinking about it.
I mean, how are you did he play in the All-Star game?
Steph's out, Wiggins is out.
Remember.
I don't think so.
He didn't play.
So you just had a week off, my guy.
I got Cavs, to answer your question.
My Cavs. Oh, you got. I thought you were talking about his Cavs. I was like, oh no. Oh my God! All right. What about you, Gabe? What do you?
I like the Nuggets. I like the Nuggets a lot in the second half of the season and deep into the playoffs. Yeah.
Do you think? I know that you weren't here last week. Earlier this week when Ro and I discussed it. Do you think the Nuggets have a chance to do anything? Truthfully,
I do.
Yeah.
I think they have a deep team. They play good defense. I think they can run pretty deep.
All right. I don't know what it is about the Nuggets. I just never actually believe in them. When it comes down to it, I feel like Jokic plays well. I feel like Murray plays well. But when it comes down to it, it's just always something is missing.
I'll tell you what it is with a lot of teams, and I can answer that. It's the balance. Because I feel like it's almost always on 1 or 2 people, and everybody else shits the bed in one way or another.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find an evenly balanced team that has a solid backcourt as well, that ball handles, that understands their position and just plays their position. Yeah. And that, and I'll give you an example. When Anthony Davis is reluctantly forced to play forward, he hates it and he doesn't do it well. Center. He doesn't do it well, and it throws the whole team off. But in terms of, I don't see the Nuggets doing it. For the same reason I don't see a lot of teams doing it. It's because I don't feel like they're evenly balanced.
I think, to your point, Gabe, to both of your point, actually, I feel like Aaron Gordon is their key because he goes from scoring 35 to scoring 12. Mm-hmm. And that gap in the playoffs we can't have. And we spoke about it on Monday about Andrew Wiggins and what he meant to that run last year. And, how I thought he was going to take a step. Aaron Gordon means the same thing for the Nuggets. They can't go anywhere without his production. So if he's not producing on a nightly basis, then I don't. That's kind of why I feel
Anthony
the way
Davis
I feel.
too.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
it's all about how much he's the key maker for the Lakers.
That's fair. That's fair. Up next, we've got the Grizzlies and the Sixers. I'm believing that John Morant's going to play. He was high flying in the All-Star game like 3 days ago. So
I got the Sixers.
you got the Sixers.
I do.
All right. What about you, Gabe?
I got the Grizzlies, but I am really not a Sixers fan, so I'm always I kind of have Roe's position on the how Roe feels about the Cowboys is how I feel about the Sixers.
Really? I never
That
knew
level of
this.
hate?
It's not hate. But it's dislike.
It's
Oh,
terrible.
I hate the
disdain.
Cowboys.
Yes, yeah. You made that clear. Roe once told me that if ISIS played the Cowboys, she would root for ISIS.
I get an ISIS jersey.
Oh my goodness.
Obama.
We are coming for you.
You know that the Sixers are only they're plus 700 to win the regional, and they're 2 games out. I mean, I think.
Oh, you mean their division?
their division? I think it's a funsy bet
Look,
at plus 700.
yeah, the Celtics are not. I don't think the Celtics are playing.
Yeah, but that'd be fuck you money. It'd be like $20.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it
No, for
wouldn't be
700,
anything-
for plus 700.
for plus 700.
That's not a bad bet.
No.
That's not taking my Wizards at plus 1,000. I hear you. You at least have a chance of making that money.
You're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah. There's at least a chance. My Wizards, there is no hope.
I didn't know you
No hope.
dislike the 76ers, Gabe.
I do.
Why?
I'm not an Embiid fan.
Really?
I love
No,
him.
he's a phenomenal basketball player, and I will give him this. Remember a couple of years when Charles Barkley called him out a couple of years ago, and he was like, you know what, Barkley's right.
I don't remember. What did he call him out on?
He said he's lazy, he takes games off, and he doesn't
Did he
rebound.
say that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Well, Charles, this is the Sixers, so anytime he has a
And
chance
he-
to take
and
a dig at the Sixers, he's going to put his feet into it.
Them and Shaq.
Yes, fair.
Yeah. I'm just to be honest, I don't know where it came from, but it's a pretty long. It's my guilty pleasure. You just got to give me a
it.
little room on this one.
I get it.
That's interesting. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Oh, and here we go. What we got? What we got
Most
up there,
points
George?
by a center in the last 45 years. Joel Embiid scoring 33.1 this season. Moses Malone with 31.1 in 1982. And then Joel Embiid last season with 30.6. So, Gabe, he's
He's got a message for you.
got a message for you.
The process. We believe in the process.
Okay,
I don't.
I'll keep my thoughts to myself from now on. That really did not go well.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first tweet that popped up.
That's
Blame Twitter.
And Gabe,
not
that
me.
wasn't Patrick Ewing.
Oh my God, that's too
Wow.
good, Ro. That was on time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That was pretty good. Oh my goodness. All right, Ro's matchup, the Warriors versus the Lakers. She was jumping the gun,
we're
excited.
finally gonna win.
She was excited. Ro,
Yeah.
if you can't beat the Warriors without
Steph and Wiggins.
Steve Kerr might sit this one out. Like if you're losing this game, it's a wrap. It's over for you.
I can't with this team. And again, and there's a lot of light on it tonight because remember, this is the first game after LeBron said, I'm going to play
All 23.
all 23. And that's a pretty strong statement. Now they're 2 games out from being in the play-in. And I'm going to tell you, if they cannot, I'm going to be watching it because if they cannot win tonight with no Steph and with no Wiggins, go home.
It's over for you.
Go rest. They frustrate me to no end, this team, but I mean,
What can you do?
What? The agony of being a sports fan, right?
That's it. Gabe, what do you got?
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm excited for the Mavs game tonight.
Oh, what? Yeah. No, I didn't
are
even
we
put that
still on
one
the
down.
Lakers? Okay.
I actually I thought about putting that one down too, but I was like, we'll see.
Who do you got with Lakers and Golden State?
I mean, it better be the Lakers. If the Lakers don't win this game tonight,
Go
I think
home.
they should really talk about maybe joining the G League as a team and just completely rebuilding.
Bring what was their G League team? The LA Defenders.
Yeah, just swap.
Bring them up. Bring that whole roster up
yeah,
and say, hey,
yeah.
you're the Lakers.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna go down to the developmental and we're gonna get back to brass tacks.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh my God. I've got the Warriors just to piss Roe off. That's my only reason.
And you hate LeBron.
Fair. That's
And you hate LeBron.
yeah. That disdain
Don't you want
runs
to see
deep
a
as well.
happy row?
Sorry.
Ew. You know what?
I love you, but not until you
I'm
you
gonna
exercise your defense.
I'm gonna glow even after we beat the team without their two big players. I'm gonna glow.
That's fair. We beat the champs.
And move all the way up into a superior position for the play-in tournament.
Yeah, 1,000%.
That's going to be the big party.
1,000%.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness. All right, last matchup, marquee matchup tonight: the Blazers and the Kings. I did not think that would be a marquee matchup.
When did you ever think you'd say that?
Man, this is not 2000. I'll say that. We're partying like it's 2001. The Blazers have actually really started to come together as a team and have been playing well. The Kings, we've talked about it, have I mean, we'll see. This is where the rubber meets the road. Can the Kings hold on and make the playoffs? Not only make the playoffs, but make the playoffs and have home court advantage in the first round. What do you guys think? I'll start with you, Gabe.
I think the Blazers. I completely agree with everything you said. I like where they're heading. I think they're going to be exciting to watch down the stretch.
Yeah. Ro, what you got?
There's nothing exciting about the Blazers or the Kings for me, except I don't want the Kings to win just to help us out.
Okay, all right. Not even, but you love Dame.
I mean, listen, yes, but it's not for me. It's not a game that I'm like, I can't wait to watch. I mean, I'll review the score tomorrow.
That's fair. I don't think any of us will watch 2 minutes of that game. We don't ever get much Damian Lillard news anyway, so it is what it is.
Did you see that they were stuck in a plane, the team, because there was a blizzard, and so Dame did a freestyle to Glorilla's Tomorrow. It was really good.
Oh no, I didn't see
It was really good.
Oh, okay. No.
That was the highlight of the team for me.
That's the best you got
And
for
I
the
love
Blazers
Dame.
season.
I love that's all I got for you.
That's the best part of the Blazers season so far.
But I mean, I am looking forward to the Mavs game too.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And who are the Mavs playing? I forget who they were playing.
Spurs.
That was the reason why I was like, it's the Spurs.
No, I don't, and that's what I don't want to look forward to this game. You know, I don't. I said the last time you guys had me on, I don't think trading for Kyrie was a good idea.
Oh.
And I woke up this morning and I'm like, wow, I really want to watch this completely inconsequential game with, because Luka and Kyrie are going to be high-fiving tonight, and they'll suck me in. And then 3 weeks from now, Kyrie's going to be like, I don't like the position of the moon, so I'm going to take a week off.
No. I saw this. I need to actually post it. This guy was like, yeah, don't know what's going to go wrong. Kyrie coming to the Mavs, it should be great. He loves Mark Cuban. JFK's assassination wasn't real. God dang it, Kyrie. Didn't really happen in Dallas.
Oh my God, that's great.
It's really good. I was like, I got to post that one.
That's
It was really good.
I want Kyrie to win. I want him to flourish. I think beating the Suns is a tall order, but I want the Mavs to win because I am a Kyrie fan. I don't care who says that.
You do love you some Kyrie.
I do love Kyrie.
I know.
I found the Damian Lillard rap. If you want.
Oh yes, put it
Okay, go
up.
ahead, throw
It's
it
so
up, throw it up.
good.
It better be good. Oh, that's not a good start.
Just listen.
Hey. Man, how the fuck we stuck up in the snow? Guess we fly this bitch tomorrow. Bookies know I keep a clip, won't change what I'ma get tomorrow. Back stuck on the plane, I might have to buy a fit tomorrow. In this cuffing weather, grab your bitch, she might get hit tomorrow. Drew gon' set the pick, I'm pulling up from 40. Niggas bitching niggas cause they act like they don't know me. I'ma tap my wrist, it's Dame time, I give them fits. So with the gang, we keep it lit. Captain, let me in the pit. Hey, me and T, I thought y'all knew that was my nigga. Had to go and grab my teeth up off the 6 Shooters in the locker room like we the Wizard.
Oh.
Tight, stepped up in this fucking blizzard.
Hey, was that good?
That was.
See?
That's not bad. And then being on a private plane with all your friends.
I mean, things can
It just
be
does
worse,
look good.
right?
I won't lie. It does look good.
They're not exactly slumming it.
No, not at all. That's that is the mama we made it moment. I will give you that.
Mama, we made it moment. Mama, we made it. Really quick for Gabe, can you please do your impersonation of Lawrence Taylor? After,
Oh my God, she loves this one.
After he broke Joe Theismann's leg.
I killed him. I think I killed him. I killed a white boy on national television. I'm going to jail. Like, he was that high. He was that high for sure that he came out of it and was like, I think I killed a white man, and I'm going to jail for life. Like, they're not going to allow me.
Exact face.
Ro loves that. It's the truth. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Switching gears. Well, perfect segue. Switching gears to the NFL.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is Brett Favre. Let's slow this down just for a hot second.
And so let's lay out the narrative
Yeah, that's
too for
right.
people that don't know the history of it.
Yeah. So remember when Brett Favre was kind of, his last few years in Green Bay was kind of waffling a little bit in terms of, do I want to play? Do I not want to play? Am I going to retire? Whatever. So, 3 years before all this happened, the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers back end of the first round. 2 picks before my Redskins drafted Jason Campbell. But Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be the number 1 pick, and that was the year that Alex Smith went number 1, and then no one really needed a quarterback, and so he fell and ends up in Green Bay, learning behind a legend, behind Brett Favre. He simply watched, as all this back and forth kind of was going on with Brett, and now he's doing the exact same thing to Jordan Love. I'll just go ahead and give you the similarities. Brett played 20 years in the league. Obviously, his last 3 years were outside of Green Bay.
With the
Jets and the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers is now in he's now played 18 years. Aaron Rodgers sat his first 3 seasons. Brett sat his first season. Aaron has now thrown for 59,000 yards, 475 touchdowns, and 147 wins. Brett threw for 71,000 yards, 508 touchdowns, and 186 wins. Both of them held the Packers hostage while a young quarterback twisted in the wind. I'm going to just go ahead and start with you, Ro. What do you think about what's going on in Green Bay? And do you think that Brett Favre will stay? Brett Favre. Do you think that Aaron Rodgers will stay? Dang it.
And just as a little bonus for the both of you, for the 3 of you, actually, I'm going to do my Brett Favre impersonation after this.
Oh, Lord.
Actually, I'll do it now. Hello, Jean. It's me, Brett. Don't you guys remember?
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. So I am not sure why Aaron Rodgers is surprised. This is a conversation that I've had ad nauseum with you, Josh, and with you, Gabe, about Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure what is so surprising to him, why he's shocked. He saw the exact same narrative play out with Brett Favre while he was Jordan Love. Now, the striking difference is that there was no social media, so we didn't really know, because Josh had actually said, well, we never really heard much from Aaron Rodgers until
basically he started playing.
Yes, but there was no social media, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's always been a crybaby, not to this extent. He's never been we don't know to what.
He wasn't allowed to be a diva. He was a background diva if he was.
We knew that he was a solidified diva when he started changing the plays in the middle of the huddle when McCarthy was their coach.
Yes.
But they hated one another. They did petty things. But that showed you that he wanted to demean his head coach in front of the whole team. He wanted to emasculate his head coach. That was the first big true glimpse of character.
He was Willie Beeman. I got a better play. I got a better play.
He was Willie Beeman, but not as talented.
Stephen Willie Beeman.
Steven Willie Beeman. And that was played by Bill Cosby, Gabe.
Oh my God. That's now a running joke anytime Gabe comes in the room. Oh my God. That's really. I was like, no, it wasn't. Oh, she got me too. She got me too.
So, so that was the main, like that to me was the first real accurate glimpse of his personality. Now, this is, I believe, the third off season, because we know he's probably done some shenanigans in the past.
Yeah.
The third solid one.
Yeah.
Not only that now, he made it clear, he told the world that he's going into a darkness retreat and that he will make his decision. But before he huffed and puffed and took his ball to Portland in his little darkness hole, aka Pat McAfee's butthole.
Oh no.
He actually gave an interview to Pat McAfee and said, well, they're clearly having discussions without me, which I don't like. Then he decided to go into this darkness hole. What are you what's so surprising? You saw the almost exact same thing play out with Brett Favre.
Like we've seen this movie.
We've seen this movie. What's so surprising to you? And now what he's trying to do, I think that he wants to stay in Green Bay. He's very comfortable with the facility. It's where he knows how to play. Now you can take the bait. What he's trying to do is drive up the market for him. I don't think he wants to go anywhere else, regardless of what he says.
Gabe, what do you think?
I actually have an interesting theory on this. I'm not sure if he wants to go somewhere else. I'm not sure there's anywhere for him to go.
Yeah,
his QBR was 26th last year. He edged out Russell Wilson.
Do you know who had the highest QBR from December on?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
I knew that.
I'm totally unsurprised that was injected into the conversation.
I did hear that he had the top interception percentage this year of all quarterbacks, and I was like, oh snap!
The reason, really quick, I didn't mean to interrupt. The reason I interjected that is because you're right. I don't know if there's any place for him to go, because you think of what he would ask. You'd have to mortgage your life, your kids' life to get him. Meanwhile, Daniel Jones is like 30 or 40. That's the only reason I interjected it. It's Aaron Rodgers is going to want your mom's like antiques and their land, right? But you're right. I think you're that's a really good point.
Well, that's why I think he's going to be in Green Bay next year, because at some point some GM has to go into an owner's office and say, "Hey, I have a great idea. We can acquire for probably a first and a second round pick a 40-year-old quarterback for $60 million who edged out Russell Wilson last year."
You're so right. Who's lost to Jimmy Garoppolo the last 3 conference games?
Legit.
Yeah.
Legit. I mean, man, like you said, we've seen this story, we've seen this movie before. I think, for me, I know we're about to talk about some good landing spots for some quarterbacks. I think it's literally between the Raiders and the Jets. And it really just is going to come down to what you said, Gabe, but see, to your point, who has the cap space? There's not that many people that even have the cap space to even make this happen.
And what would justify it? Like, let's say they did have the cap space. How do you justify an almost 40-year-old quarterback who hasn't? People are like, oh, well, he got MVP a couple years ago. Okay, great, but what did he do with it? He hasn't won anything in over in 11, 12 years.
I mean, I guess the only justification this year, and we talked about it, when they lost Devontae Adams, I knew that they were going to have problems. I knew it was not going to be so just, plug and play. That was not a Belichick situation where, we just lost a player and now we're going to replace him with another player.
I reject that altogether, because that's to me like if my quarterback wasn't injured, he would have done this. Well, shit, we needed receivers too.
Yeah, no, 100%, and you made it work. But their whole team wasn't that good this year. It wasn't just Aaron. Aaron did not play well at all, but he still showed he's Aaron Rodgers at moments. You know what I mean? Like, especially down the stretch. When they started to kind of finally pull it together, I was like, oh, okay, hurry up and lose another game.
I think Matt LaFleur did the best he could with what he had. And, when you think about Aaron Rodgers, any team that wants him, hypothetically, knows what he comes with. He's like, you know what he's like? He's like the really hot girl that was hot in college. like
High school.
Freshman year of college.
Okay.
That was banging. She seemed like she was really bubbly, had a great personality, said that she could cook. And then 3 husbands later, you find out she can't cook, she can't fuck, and she hates everybody.
Dang. You painted a picture. Wait a minute. You know this woman.
There's a real person on the other end of that story.
There's a real person in this story.
The only reason that would be like that really is attractive is who he used to be. Because all this baggage that he comes with now, the juice is not worth the squeeze.
I can't argue with that at all. I can't. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the best landing spots for a few other quarterbacks that are on the market, not on the market, could have a market. Let's start with Derek Carr. First off was to Gabe's point, Gabe had brought this up off air. Was this the right move even for the Raiders to cut Derek Carr? So I'll start over here with you, Gabe.
I don't think so. I mean, Carr wasn't great. Now, he has been, in the time that Carr's been with the Raiders, they've given up more points than anybody else in the NFL. So I don't think you can really put that on him. I've always said Carr is somewhere between like the 9th and 13th best quarterback in the NFL. That's great. Is somebody above 8 available? Because I don't think so.
Well,
there's a few, but at the same time, can you get them?
Yeah.
Like if they're not available to me, then
yeah,
I think I'm gonna stay home.
Yeah. Now, I mean, because again, I don't think it was a good idea. Now, if the plan is that Stidham can do for $3 million most of what Carr did for 30, and you can apply that money somewhere else, like I can see that plan. Ooh. But I think, but Derek Carr is a very good quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, look, he's not a top 5 quarterback. He's been that in the past, maybe, but he's not.
Yeah.
But that's very good. Is a lot better than might be good or could be good or Trey Lance.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Ro, what about you? What do you think?
I concur. I don't think it was. I think it was more Josh McDaniels than it was Derek Carr.
In terms of what happened with the Raiders this year?
Yeah, in terms of him being cut. The one thing that I've brought up before is when you saw Derek Carr, not this past season, but the season before, nobody gives him credit for this. He can read a defense very, very quickly, and he can adjust very quickly. He doesn't need that much time in the pocket, okay?
He's never had one.
Whatever pocket he's had. So that qualifies my point even further.
Sure.
He doesn't need that much time, and I go back to he can read a defense, but the formations that McDaniels had them play never really made sense to me. And then the interceptions came one after another. I'm like, maybe this is a time where you do change the play in the middle of the huddle, because I got
a better play.
So I think I got a better play. We're gonna do a quarterback sneak 4 times in a row.
Yeah. See how it works. Oh my goodness.
I think it was more Josh McDaniels, but I think the perfect landing spot to me, the Jets is a no-brainer, and this is why. Saleh was a DC with the 49ers, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think he can see both sides of the ball very well. Saleh can. And I think that Derek Carr, the way he can read a defense and adjust to it with his offense and work with what he has offensively, I think that would be a perfect situation, because if they started to gain steam with Zach Wilson, they can do a lot more with Derek Carr, and then you got Sauce Gardner, I think, and
another pick, like they've got another solid first round pick this year, so.
He's not going to come with demands like Rodgers does. He's just going to be happy to be here and play his best football. I think the Jets is a perfect landing place for Derek Carr.
Yeah. I think, to your point, I think the Jets will be perfect. Not only for Derek Carr. Well, shoot, no, because they cut him. Dang. I was going to say trade Derek Carr for Zach Wilson, and then you basically reset yourself if you're the Raiders, but Oops, my bad.
There isn't gonna be a locker room.
We can't do it.
There isn't going to be a locker room that's going to embrace Zach Wilson. I'm sorry. The one thing that you can't. It was a fatal mistake that he made. He just.
Yeah, well, and I don't think the one thing I will say, because I did think about this a couple days ago. I don't think Zach Wilson would blend in with the Raider culture. I don't think that.
You don't think so?
Well, I don't.
Why do you say that?
Well, I mean, I'll say that, but on top of that, Derek Carr was never like this. You know, he was a church guy. He had a family. He was not Kenny Stabler smoking a pack of Newports and drinking at halftime. Like that wasn't what he was. So it wasn't like he was that quarterback either. But I don't think that Zach Wilson would blend with that locker room. That is the only caveat I'd have to that trade. But too bad that trade can't even happen. What do you think, Gabe? Where's the best spot for Carr?
For Carr, I think New York. I think there's something really cool brewing in New York. I think Robert Saleh is a force of nature. I think he's a really special coach. I think in 10 years we're going to be talking about like what an amazing coach he is and what he's built.
All right. Up next, we're going to Rose Man in the Mirror. We're going to Jimmy G.
Oh my goodness.
Jimmy G. He is. Did they cut him yet? Or no, they didn't cut him.
No, he's not cut yet.
He would be a free agent because he was. Was he a franchise this year?
No, he was a 1 year.
He was 1 year this year.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so he'll be a free agent. Where do you think that the Jimmy G should go?
I think Las Vegas is a good place for him to land.
Don't say that. You like really Rose heart fluttered 3 times when you said that shit. I promise you.
Well, but she's probably about to throw something at me. Jimmy G's a pretty good quarterback.
I agree. See, okay, I brought this up and Josh had a retort to it. Gabe, do you know what Tom Brady's winning percentage as a starter was?
No.
73%. Do you know what Jimmy G's is?
I've heard this. They're
72.
really close. Yeah.
And Josh said not as many games.
Not as many games.
Okay, but he also did have Belichick. He kind of did have Belichick for a little bit. But, I mean, that's a pretty, listen, he's not, I don't know why everybody thinks like he's this schlep. Listen, he doesn't have a cannon for a fucking arm, okay? But he has that chin cleft.
And we get to the real story.
No, listen, but that's where I think he'd be, I also think that's why he wouldn't thrive with the Jets, by the way.
So John Travolta's your guy then?
No, because Jimmy G is straight.
Okay, there's that part. We do have. Oh, here he is. Here he is for you, Ro.
I mean, like.
Thank God I have the camera in my way. I can't even see it.
So
It's for the best.
his porn star girlfriend actually resembles me a little bit.
You've said this.
She's a little meatier than I am.
And I mean, she's a porn star, so you know. There's.
I was gonna say something.
You're gonna let that slide.
I'll let that go.
Let that slide. All right. I thought I would dangle that and see what you would come up with, but for me, I don't know.
That's what she said.
I try. I was like, I'll see if she lets that slide. She did not. Jimmy G. I look.
Well, wait. Actually, Gabe, why do you think Jimmy G would be well suited for Vegas?
Honestly, for exactly what you talked about. He's a very consistent quarterback. That I don't think, and this is why again I think letting go of Carr was a problem. I'm not sure the Raiders need a great quarterback. They need a good one.
Wait a minute. Jimmy G knows Josh McDaniels' system. I didn't even look at it that way. I didn't even look at it that way in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
That actually is the perfect quarterback to come to
He was the
Raiders.
OC under Belichick when Jimmy G was with the Patriots.
Yeah, 1,000%. I wasn't even... Okay. All right. I agree with both of you. That's the best spot for him. It wouldn't be the sexiest of picks, but it would beat the heck out of Stidham. I'd say that. I don't know if you're selling Stidham to Las Vegas. Like I don't know if that's the train you want to hitch your wagon to.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, all right. I hear you. I hear both of you on that. That's actually pretty good. Okay, we're gonna move on to the crown jewel of free agency potentially. Lamar Jackson still having some issues with the Baltimore Ravens getting to a contract, getting to an agreement. Do you think that it's possible that they can get to an agreement, or where do you see Lamar going if they don't?
I mean, I think they're definitely, at a minimum, they're going to franchise tag him next year. I think the question is, will he play under a franchise tag, or will he say, no, look, I deserve a long-term contract, which he probably does. Whether it's $250 guaranteed, I don't know, but he deserves a long-term contract.
Yeah.
I think he's going to stay in Baltimore. That's a pretty consistent organization. Harbaugh's already really stepped up for him.
Yeah.
Harbaugh said 200%. He's back next year. I think he stays there.
Did you see the tweet that Lamar tweeted? Whether I think it was yesterday or the day before, he said, "You can give everybody your everything, and it means nothing to them. Fuck them." Like so, and there's one thing that we are not considering here.
Quote unquote. That's what he said.
I'm paraphrasing, but yes.
Okay.
He did say,
Okay.
he did say fuck them.
Okay, that's what I was like. I was like, ho.
He did.
All right.
No, he said fuck
Oh,
'em.
he said that?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not a paraphrase. That is shots
no, but
fired.
I mean, I meant like it wasn't. But he did say fuck them. Okay.
Wowzers.
So there's one component that nobody's talking about. Lamar Jackson is his own agent, and what is not smart about this is given the quarterback market, he's a 10, right? I mean, if we're gonna go back to
age, production.
he's
you
a
know what I
mobile
mean?
quarterback, and the game is changing for quarterbacks. And you can't be Ben Roethlisberger. You have to be a mobile quarterback. He has all the givings of being great. The worst thing that he did is not get an agent. You know why? Because an agent is getting all these other teams to drive up the market for you because they legitimately want you and they also need you. I personally think he is going to stay in Baltimore because he can't maneuver this whole thing by himself and go to another team. And I hate to say that because you listen, the stakes are too high for you to be your own fucking agent.
That part I actually, when you're at a certain level, you know what I mean? Like, okay, look at hockey, for instance. Alan Ovechkin is his own agent. Nicholas Backstrom on the Capitals
It's
are
a
their own agent.
completely different dynamic than the NFL.
No. That I will 1,000% agree with you on. But if you are a star in the league, there's something to be said about just give me what I'm worth. If you give me what I'm worth, I'll sign it. I like being here. If you do, if this is what the market says, then you give me that, and I'll sign on the dotted line.
Except two things won't make him reasonable. Okay, Jerry Jones starting the precedent for blockbuster contracts for quarterbacks, and what the Browns gave Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Because remember, the big carrot is your guaranteed amount.
Sure, and he's pulling for fully guaranteed.
Again,
as he should.
The reason that this stalemate is happening for this long, and you're right, I think they will tag him, but the question remains to be seen, will he play under that tag? But really, more than anything else, it's what the Browns did out of desperation through all this money at Deshaun Watson, $280 million, $230, which is guaranteed, because they knew that he would have to settle up legally, and that's why they did it, okay? But that's what fucked everything up. Mm-hmm. I think he is going to stay in Baltimore, although I think if you put him, I don't know, I think, gosh, like in an ideal situation where they can basically build a team around him, he gets traded to the Bears, they build a team, they let Justin Fields sit back for a couple of years, learn under Lamar, and Chicago has the most cap space. You build a team around Lamar. That, in an ideal situation, is what I think would happen.
You wouldn't trade Justin Fields?
No, I'd want him to be a backup for a year.
And then what with him?
You decide. Depends on how well Lamar does.
Right.
And then it depends on how well he can be.
That's fair.
He can be the DiNucci. For like how what's his like DiNucci's been like the third string for the Cowboys for like a decade.
Who are you? Yeah, I'm on the team. No, you're not. I don't know you.
I'm a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Sure,
no, you're not.
Sure, you are, sir.
Can you bag my groceries? No, you're not.
Now, one thing about the tag I will say before we move on, there's the non-exclusive franchise tag, and then there's the exclusive franchise tag, and the difference in price point is totally different. So in the non-exclusive, I think it was like 55 million that he would be getting this year. And with that one, he wouldn't be able to, as his own agent, he wouldn't be able to reach
talk
out
to anybody else, right?
and basically only the Ravens could move him. On the exclusive one, he can talk to other teams, but then the money I think was like $35 million, and then
they can cut him immediately.
Well, but also on the exclusive tag, the going rate was two first round picks. So I'm like, that's actually not bad. If you can, you know what I mean? If they do that, two first round picks for Lamar Jackson, and then you just have to negotiate whatever the contract is. That actually, I was like, well, if that happens, I could see him moving. So,
do you know what would happen if you put Lamar Jackson as quarterback for the New York Giants and you gave him a good receiver? It's lights out. Any team would benefit greatly. I think Lamar Jackson is going to end up with 2 rings. I think he has the potential.
We'll see.
It's all about chemistry. I'm
Yeah, no, 1,000%. You're completely right about that. It's chemistry and I mean, when Peyton Barber was here, it's chemistry, situation, and and then who you're coaching.
And what quarterback wants to take you to the Super Bowl when they feel like they're being held captive?
It's not a good look. Before we move on from the NFL, what are the Cowboys going to do at running back next year? Ezekiel Elliott, there's talks about cutting him, and then Tony Pollard broke something in the playoff game. So, what do you think, Gabe? What do you think that they should do?
Well, I heard 2 questions. I heard what should they do and what will they do.
There it is.
Okay, so what they will do, in my opinion, is probably overpay both of them for next year.
They can't.
Because Jerry Jones, he'll find a way. He just loves it so much. Jerry Jones loves to overpay.
And he loves
shiny
a good controversy, right?
Yeah. And he'll be like, it's great to have 2 running backs, which it is not. Like
Never.
There's absolutely no data to support that. I mean, what they should do, honestly, I would go with Pollard. I think Zeke is nobody holds their speed. Yeah. And Zeke is approaching that magical number for running backs, which is not a good one. And it's just, it's almost always tough with running backs to justify not going with the younger player because that, the first step is so important.
Sure.
Although Zeke can play center. We have to keep that in mind.
Oh my God.
1 snap.
Oh my God.
0.
But this is why I love this. This is why I love this team. It never fails. Don't you remember the season before when they did the QB sneak with Dak? There was like 7 seconds left, but that play would have taken 11 seconds. So I asked my friend Ryan Darling, who is he actually used to work for the Cowboys. He is an avid Cowboys fan. And I asked him, as a Dallas fan, what running back gets the contract. He said Pollard is way better than Zeke, more explosive and elusive, better at catching passes out of the backfield. Zeke is not worth the contract, especially with the Cowboys' cap issues. Yes, Jerry Jones would find a way, but this is the thing. Jerry Jones loves to create a name, a jersey, and sell it, right? The Elliott jerseys, because these stupid Cowboy fans know no better. They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
I see those more than any other name.
Jerry Jones is a marketing genius. So you can say whatever. He's a marketing genius. I think, and because he likes just to kind of just to do things, like my son does. I did it because I did it. I think I did it because I did it. I think that he's going to give Zeke the bigger contract.
So this is what I think. This is what I think they will do, and this is what I think they should do. Tony Pollard had a catastrophic injury at the end of the season, and is a free agent now. So that already impacts his dollar figures for next year. Ezekiel Elliott, to Gabe's point, is he's not only just lost a step, but he's been well fed and well paid for better part of 3 to 4 years.
Well fed, definitely well fed.
So you know what I mean? So he's kind of hit that point where it's like, it's not like Adrian Peterson, he's still running hard, and you know what I mean, and he's earning his money.
He couldn't be all day in his dreams.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of earning his money.
Well, also, the nature of that position is evolving. Gabe, we've talked about this. To be a back, like look at Debo. He could be a receiver. He could be a back. Yeah. That position is evolving.
It's shifting and cutting in on running backs' money, frankly.
Pollard, I was going to say Pollard will absolutely evolve with it because that's how he plays anyway. Zeke cannot.
I think they should draft Bijan Robinson out of Texas.
Okay.
Because I feel like he has a chance to fall. And if he starts to fall, because I don't remember exactly where the Cowboys are drafting, but I know that they're no further than 24, 20, somewhere in there. If Robinson falls to 15, 16 with my Commanders, 17, somewhere in there, the Cowboys should trade up to get him. Now that's all notwithstanding what they end up doing in free agency. But if they do decide to cut those guys, or just cut bait, I think that's probably the way that they should go.
What was Pollard's injury? Was it an ACL?
No, I think he broke his leg. He broke something.
It was not soft tissue.
It was a
Oh,
break.
it was a hard break.
It was a break. Yeah, he broke something. So that, and this is a free agent year, so it's like, dang. So there's no guarantee.
Because he's a Cowboy, but he's a phenomenal. He is. He's a phenomenal player, and it sucks for him. But
all right, moving on to Major League Baseball. Just had one topic on Major League Baseball. We're starting to gear into spring training, but had a question to pose to the group. Ro, you asked, was the DH a good idea for baseball?
if you're asking me, so for people who don't know what that is, a designated hitter is a designated player from every team that doesn't play outfield and infield, just bats. And I think that started, I believe, in 73. And up until this past year, it was only the National League that really utilized
pitchers.
Yes. So I like it. I do like it because, listen, this is why. Historically, the pitching position has never been seen as an offensive one. But then there were anomalies in the past.
Babe Ruth, he disagrees, but that's okay.
So, no. Can I fucking finish?
I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
Then you have Shohei Ohtani, who I believe is an offensive pitcher.
1,000%.
But historically, you've had Maddox, too.
Yeah.
I feel Scherzer falls in there as well.
I'm trying to think. Jake Arrieta was very, very good hitting pitcher. Carlos Zambrano. The Cubs have had a few, actually. Mm-hmm. Few.
Yeah, I guess so.
Jake hit home runs in the playoffs, like big home runs in the playoffs. Kerry Wood, geez, the Cubs have had.
But yes, that's why I think the designated hitting position, the development of it, and the utilization of it was a great idea. Just because we talk about evolving roles for different positions, and because I think to be a good pitcher. I think Mariano Rivera, without even realizing it was an offensive pitcher, right? Like the way they utilized him, even like how you close. CeCe could never be that because CeCe was just too rotund, right? But that position is changing, which is why I think the designated hitting, the development of it was a great idea. Yes.
What about you, Gabe? Do you like the DH?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I watch sports to see people do things I can't do, to be amazed. Wow, I can't believe that athlete did that. There's nothing worse than a pitcher who comes up and the pitcher doesn't even want to be there.
He's just holding his bat like this.
Exactly. It's basically picture day. He's going to take a swing at some point, but it's a swing because he doesn't want the backwards K, or he just takes the backwards K. Yeah, get the best players out there. Absolutely. Like you don't. There's no rule that says once every 9 innings an outfielder has to pitch. So why do the opposite of it? Yeah, I think it was.
Well, and especially with these new rules in baseball, right?
Yeah. Well, this is my part. I'll say this: I'm a Cub fan, so I'm a fan from the National League. I always love the difference in the different leagues. And like I just mentioned, the Cubs have had so many good hitting pitchers over the years. I did like.
You don't put
DH.
Chapman up there.
No, Geraldo's definitely not. But I did love that pitchers got the chance to hit, just because of. I always felt like the National League, in terms of schemes and different things, you had to actually think the game. Like, this inning, the pitcher's coming up. Well, now we have to pinch hit and we have to do these things. There was a lot of other things in terms of tactics.
Switching of the rotation.
Yeah. I mean, all of that stuff was I feel like it was a much purer game, the National League's game. Mm-hmm. So when they decided to take that away, I wasn't necessarily a fan. Now, granted, if they would have did that 3-4 years ago, we probably would still have Babe Schwarber, but that's a different story for a different day. But that's just me, I guess. I always did like the difference in the two leagues,
Well,
especially in the World Series, because then like now the American League, they haven't played this way all year, and now they got to figure out a way to hit a pitcher. You know what I mean?
Listen, I think we can probably get into, this is a really good spot to get into the new MLB rules, but I think that's just keeping the sport pure and even keeled. Pitchers historically don't bat, right? I mean, you have our anomalies, and so I think, yes, of course, and I think we're all there, right? When it comes, so can we talk about the new rules for MLB?
Sure. Got 5. Go ahead, Gabe. What you got?
About the new rules?
New rules, yeah.
I'm really excited for this MLB season. I think we're going to see some really cool stuff. I love the pitch clock. I love the limit on throws to the base. I'll tell you what I'm really excited to see is that they're allowing challenges on balls and strikes.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, I am excited to see the bad umpires get humiliated.
Yes.
Because the truth is they should hand over balls and strikes to the eye, which is never wrong. The umpires union is standing in the way. And so Major League Baseball is like, okay, if you want to do that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to allow challenges, and the teams know when they're right on a challenge. So the umpire is going to lose every challenge. And they're going to say, look, if you like that humiliation, yeah, keep calling balls and strikes. But why? If you have a hyper-accurate system that will call balls and strikes correctly every time, why let Angel Hernandez keep calling balls and strikes?
Absolutely.
that are 5 feet out. Like.
Yeah, no, his strike zone is based on how he feels about the player.
That's exactly
He's
right.
like, I don't like this guy, and you can throw you can throw it right down the middle. I don't like that pitcher. Ball. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He reminds me of Pedro Martinez.
No, I was gonna say Leslie Nielsen in The Naked Gun.
He was a better umpire.
Right.
I don't like the bigger bases.
I do.
Oh, okay.
It's like they're sliding into pizza boxes. What the fuck?
I guess the bigger base is really just about injury prevention.
No. But it's gonna. We talk about the pure, like being a purist.
No. I understand that.
I want to see how many stolen bases happen now. How many are counted in? Listen,
It's fair.
I think it's ridiculous. I'm all about the pitch clock though, because it's like, fucking hurry it up. Let's go.
I don't mind that. I don't.
No,
mind
because
the
you know what's
pitch
going to
clock.
happen though. Even if there wasn't, well, what's going to happen? It's not. You know why it's not going to make a difference? Because batters are going to step outside all the time now.
Sure.
They're going to step outside all the
Well,
time.
no, but the batter has to be in the box with 8 seconds left on the clock, and if the batter's not, they can award a ball.
They can do it twice.
I'm sorry, they can award a strike.
They can do it twice.
I thought it was 1 step out per at bat. Twice? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think, you know what? It will cut down on the time.
Sure.
But to see the cat and mouse game now is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, until my freaking pitcher makes a daggone mistake because he's buckling under some unnecessary weight. I just see it bad for my Cubs. I just feel it. I feel it.
What I think is really cool, you know, it's Theo Epstein that's behind all these changes.
Again.
Is it?
Yeah. Major League Baseball hired Theo to do all this.
Yeah, Theo.
I didn't know that Theo.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not been with the Cubs for
I know that, but I didn't
know.
know that he was a mastermind behind all of this.
And I think it's an absolute genius hire because he will look at the game, and basically Major League Baseball said we want more scoring and faster games.
Yeah.
And nobody knows more about baseball than Theo.
He's like a grown-up Ferris Bueller that's like a baseball savant.
I went to college with him.
You did?
I did not know him well, but I knew him, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Let's go ahead before we get out. We only got a few minutes, so we're going to switch over to college basketball. We're not going to be able to talk about tournament projections today, so we'll do that our next episode.
Well, can we just give our Final Four teams?
Okay.
I
sure.
really
Go ahead.
put thought into this.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have Houston, UCLA, Purdue, Kansas.
I don't even know because Georgetown's trash. So, Gabe, go ahead. Who do you have?
I would say Kansas, Baylor, Purdue, and Gonzaga.
Gonzaga this year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think the fact that they've lost a couple conference games is actually good for them. I think they're going to be peaking at the right time.
I think Houston's going to win.
You think Houston's going to take it the whole way?
Yeah.
Nobody picking Alabama, even though their star players murdering people.
Georgie is.
Shit, yeah. That dude is sick. He outscored the
Yeah,
entire
he's-
team yesterday.
He's sick, all right.
He's
Yeah,
sick.
he's
No,
sick.
that team. I said it earlier. No, I said that team's full of killers.
You buy your teammate a gun. Like it's, I mean, but I'm sure that happens
Yikes.
more than we know
Yeah.
about. But I've got Houston taking it all the way.
You've got Houston. All right. Well, thank you guys so much again for checking out another episode of the American Fan 365. Please like, share, and subscribe. Smash the like button. And be sure to tune in next time from the front row.
Thank you guys for joining us. Please follow us.
And the mastermind, Gabe. Very excited to just continue to come and bring sports news to you guys. So
Thank you guys.
we'll see you next time.